So I want to share with you some pretty surprising GMO foods that you may have never heard about. So the definition of bioengineered food ingredients is this: food that contains detectable genetic material that has been modified through certain lab techniques that cannot be created through conventional breeding or found in nature. Now, a few years ago, food manufacturing companies were a little concerned that GMOs were going to be labeled on their products because Vermont and a few other states passed laws that now had to label products with GMOs. And just so you know, GMOs are basically foods that they've altered the DNA, the genetics. So they had a very, very bright idea. They came up with a new term called bioengineered ingredients. It sounds different than GMO foods. The branding shows this wonderful sun on these great crops with this little plant growing. So it seems very, very safe and healthy. But basically, bioengineered products are another name for GMOs. It pretty much bypassed the GMO labeling problem that they had. Now, if we again look a little closer at the definition of bioengineered food ingredients, it says food that contains detectable genetic material. Okay, detectable. Here's the problem. When you process a food, especially when you ultra process a food, like in 70% of all the refined foods out there, this genetic material falls below the radar. GMOs are not detectable in some of these really ultra refined products because they're using chemicals and high heat and pressure and solvents to basically break down these GMO products so small that they're undetected. So what does that mean? It means that if the more processing you do to a product, the more you can get rid of the traces of GMO. So they don't have to be labeled as bioengineered food ingredients. So it's actually an ingenious way to hide GMO in products below the radar. They can use either a QR code, that little barcode that gives a lot more information about a product, that little code that you have to scan with your cell phone, or a phone number that you have to call to get more information if this product was bioengineered or not. So the question is, who has time to scan this barcode or call the number? And most customers, probably 99% of all customers, don't have a clue of what the term bioengineered food ingredients really means, which are surprising GMO foods that you may be eating that you may want to consider not eating. All right, number one, yellow squash. Okay, that is GMO. Now, realize if you're having organic yellow squash, it's not going to be GMO. All right. Number two, beets. Like the vast majority of beets, especially in the US, probably 95% of them are GMO. And that is where we're getting our sugar from as well. So if something says sugar on the label, chances are it's from beets, and chances are it is GMO sugar. All right, number three, papaya is GMO. Number four, eggplant is GMO, unless it says non-GMO or organic. All right, number five, green zucchini is GMO, right? Unless it says organic. And number six, certain apples are GMO. And number seven, which is most surprising, salmon is GMO. Now, if it says wild caught salmon, it's not going to be GMO, but certain farm raised salmon is GMO. So this is just another reason why to choose organic if possible. But if you don't have organic available, at least as a bare minimum, do the non-GMO.